The second aliyah of Parsha Shoftim deals primarily, or really exclusively, with the laws having to do with the appointment of a king. The Torah tells us that in a situation where the Jewish people request a king, Som Tasim Alecha Melech, the Torah tells us, and this is considered to be a mitzvah, the appointment of a king. Now, it's a little ambiguous, and the subject of discussion, which we are not going to go into right now, was whether or not this is an obligation or this is something which is permitted when prompted by the people, or maybe some sort of combination of both. We generally assume that this is an obligation in the sense it's one of the Tayyag mitzvahs, and upon entry to the land of Israel, there are different types of Jewish leaders. We have, of course, a Navi, Kohen Gadol, and a king is one of them. Now, there's some very, very important aspects to the manner in which a king is elected. First of all, there is no election in the sense that there's no democratic process that's followed. There are no elections. The people don't choose the king. God chooses the king, and he's appointed through the instructions of a Navi. Nevertheless, the Torah does give us some definitions as who may be qualified. And most importantly, the Torah spends most of this parsha over here, in this second aliyah, talking about the limitations of a king. It's clear that the king has tremendous power, the king has authority, and he has the right to go ahead and to execute justice in a way which, I'll say, sort of bypasses the normal judicial process. But at the same time, the Torah really tries to keep his power in check by limiting the amount of material possessions that he may acquire, by limiting the amount of the number of wives that he can marry. And the Torah emphasizes repeatedly that this is being done so that he not get too into himself, that he not imagine for a moment that his power, that his authority is somehow independent of God. That's absolutely not so. And the Torah says that it is necessary, is incumbent upon the king to remain focused at all times to the fact that he is a servant of God, and that ultimately he has to maintain a personal and sort of a professional awareness all time. L'man yilmad liyiras Hashem Elokav. And it is perhaps for this reason that the Torah emphasizes that it is a mitzvah for the king to carry, to have two Sifrei Torah in his possession. One of them is something which is kept in his Besa Otsar, where he would keep all other prized possessions. And another one is he's going to carry it with him at all times. He's going to have it with him. It's unbelievable that the king has to carry a Sefer Torah with him. And this is, on the surface, again, a way of emphasizing how important it is that the king at all times remembers who really is the boss.